Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily SPY report for Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. Before I jump to the charts, I must ask you to please click like if you like what you're seeing, and subscribe, of course. Tell your friends about it. Pass the YouTube link on to whoever you may know might appreciate this work, this daily analysis in the SPY or the S&P 500 SPDR ETF. You click subscribe. YouTube will notify you each and every time the daily video is ready for your viewing. Let's move on to the charts, and we'll start here as usual. Long-term trend remains bullish above 419.16. That is the channel bottom that is based on the long-term trend line well above the market at 470.96. That trend line did capture the September highs, and we are likely to test it again per a buy signal that occurred on October 14th above the 435.55 to 437.92. At that time, it was a convergence between a descending channel top and two-third speed line. They're moving apart from each other right now, and in fact, there's other support levels in that vicinity in the upper 430s I'll get to in a moment, but I'm just sort of indicating and showing you the target that still remains in effect at 470.96, a 3 to 5 week objective for the better part of 3 weeks now. We've had some buy signals, some secondary buy signals on the way up. The one you're probably most familiar with is this former rising channel top, near-term channel top today at 456.08. We did settle above it 2 weeks ago today. And that was an indication for continued progress to the upside, continued follow-through on that 3 to 5 week buy signal. So I say holding above 456.08, we have a 1 to 2 week objective up above at 470.96. In other words, really by the end of next week, I think we should reach 470.96 as long as we continue holding above that 456.08 former channel top. Now, it's funny, there's also a short-term channel bottom today at 456.07 that is based on yesterday's high and the high from, about 4 or 5 trading days ago. So I'm going to put it all together at 456.07 in terms of support that can contain selling into later week. And you can see that here in the support and resistance area, and above which 463.44 remains a 2 to 3 day target. I'll show you that in a second. And that 476.96 level, as I say, in reach by the end of next week, so long as we continue holding above 456.07, which is really the convergence of that former channel top rising and the new channel bottom based on the last 3 to 5 days activity. Upside, I'd mentioned that this former channel bottom could contain initial but no longer daily buying pressures. Well, it did essentially contain Monday's highs. It's still there. It's very well suited for aggressive day traders. And so anybody who wants to have at it can, in terms of either liquidating a long position from intraday trading or setting a short there in that vicinity. But just know this level, this formation is ripe for violation. And if we happen to push or open today above 460.93, then this 463.44, kind of a midterm channel top, is actually in reach today. And 463.44, as I say in the support and resistance area, is considered an intraday target above 460.93, the 463.44 formation able to contain daily highs. And if we close above 463.44 today, then I think you should anticipate over the next 2 to 3 days, let's just call it by the end of this week, that 470.96 target, that 470.96 long-term trend line, able to contain buying through next week, possibly through November trade. But I'm becoming increasingly leery of considering it a monthly containment level, especially if the Dow posts a meaningful buy signal this week above its respective resistance, which you can actually see illustrated in me talking about in the weekly video I released over the weekend that covers the DIA, the Triple Q, and the IWM. So you can see all that there. But I'm not going to get too heavy into 470.96 in terms of its abilities. It does remain a near to midterm target, whether that's the 3 to 5 week time horizon or the 1 to 2 week time horizon. It remains a target that can contain at least weekly, possibly monthly buying pressures. Let's talk downside. Once again, the convergence between that 456.07 and and 468.08, 456.08 area. That is our downward pivot point into later week. And so if we test it today, yes, it can contain selling into later week, possibly through the week itself, and above which 470.96 expected by the end of next week. But if we break 456.07 on an intraday basis, I think you should expect 453.19 on an intraday basis, and then closing below 456.07 would signal a 1 to 2 day, I'm going to call it a mini collapse. It should be a pretty quick sell-off down to that 449.64 to 450.51 area, which you can see illustrated here. Nothing more than rising channel bottom and a combination 1/3 speed line projected off that early October low. The 449.64 to 450.51 area, well suited to contain weekly selling pressures. And as I show in the support and resistance area, holding above 449.64 to 450.51 maintains a 2 to 3 week upside objective. Once again, at that 470.96 long-term trend line. So that area is in reach if we close today below 456.07. You know, I'd mentioned in yesterday's Monday edition that if we break or open below 456.07, because anything can happen over the weekend, and so an early violation of 456.07 today would allow, once again, 449.64 to 50.51 on an intraday basis. But personally, I think given the FOMC later in the week, I just don't see, who knows, it would be a surprise event if we violated 456.07 early today on Tuesday. So I think it's the settlement below 56.07 that then indicates 449.64 to 50.51 probably tomorrow, Wednesday. I think that would be a one-day event where we could place a weekly low and from there rally back to new highs to the 470.96 target within 2 or 3 weeks. But final thing I'll show here is that closing today below 449.64 would indicate a good weekly high and quite possibly a good November high, because I think over the next week or two, we should then fall into that upper 430s, the 437.92 to 438.40 area, if tested over the next few weeks. And once again, it is not expected unless we settle below 449.64. And then it becomes either a kind of a quick 3 to 5 day collapse, or it could take the better part of 2 weeks. Who knows? But the 437.92 to 38.40 area, able to absorb selling through November trade, and from there we can push up to new highs to that 470.96 trend line then over the following, 3 to 5 weeks, couple of months, something like that. Anyway, I'll just sort of emphasize the fact, and I'll leave you with that we are quite buoyant, quite bullish through the rest of the week above the 456.07.08 area, that 470.96 region trend line expected by the end of next week. And if we happen to close today above that 463.44 channel top, then we should actually reach that targeted 470.96 by the end of the week. And that's all I've got to say for Tuesday's Daily SPY Report. Please click like, please click subscribe. Please tell your friends about this YouTube channel, wickedstocks.com, or Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. You'll be able to see the Daily SPY Report each and every day by subscribing. You'll be notified when that occurs. I will talk to you tomorrow afternoon for Wednesday's Daily SPY Report. You have a great evening.